What's going on, everyone? Jake Morgan, Shady Creek Marina, El Dorado, Kansas. Got a used boat video for you today. This is a 2011 Tahoe. I believe the model on this was a Q5i. So this is a fish and cruise model with the quick release trolling motor up here. This is a 12 volt, 55 pound thrust wireless foot pedal motor guide. Wireless foot pedal right there. I went through the boat and kind of checked it out on what worked and what didn't. The trolling motor's getting power, but I need to put a battery in the foot pedal to actually test it. The live well did work. The live well is wired off of the trolling motor battery. All the switches, the lighting, the horn, everything was working. The only thing that I know needs adjusted or fixed or replaced is the tachometer was frozen on 2000. But other than that, I just fired it up, and I'll fire it up again in this video, and it sounded pretty dang good. It's a 4.3 Merc Cruiser. It's a carb-rated V6. Got our 2-inch ball, swinging tongue. This trailer does have brakes on it. The frame of the trailer looks good. I like that it's fixed bunks as opposed to adjustable bunks. So this trailer is custom fit to the bottom side of this boat. Got some decent marks here on the starboard side. Nothing through the gel coat that would need immediately repaired for integrity's sake. Just some visual imperfections there on the starboard bow. Over here on the port side, you have some similar looking scuffs. Nothing out of the ordinary for a boat of this age. Got a stainless 3-blade propeller here. The transom looks good. I don't see any signs of repair or any impacts that would cause for alarm here on the back. This all looks pretty good. Missing a little bit of the decal here on the starboard side. Alright. Well, I'm going to hop in and start doing the walk around on the inside. And we'll fire this up. We got our telescoping three-step ladder here that folds in its dedicated spot. This is just some draining storage here on the port side. There is a spare tire and wheel carrier in this box right here that goes with this boat. But I don't believe that there is a spare tire. But this is an unmounted spare tire carrier that lives with this boat. Alright. I do have our navigation and anchor lights plugged in. I tested those. We got a walkthrough right here. We do have a fire port for a fire extinguisher straight into the engine compartment right there. This is a first for me. I've never seen this design before, and I think it's pretty slick. So this walkthrough right here on the starboard side, this cushion is a seat right there, and then it slides into the engine compartment for your walkthrough. I think that's really clever. If you were carrying something and forgot to put that in, you could kick it in like I just did, and that keeps people from stepping on your seats so you don't have tears in your seat cushions. I thought that was pretty slick. Another thing I really liked design-wise in this boat was up here in the bimini top, there's a changing room that folds down. Let's get this on camera. There's a changing room that folds down out of the bimini top, and I have never seen this before. Now some of you Tahoe boat owners are more experienced with this brand are gonna go, well duh, they've been doing that for 25 years. Well, I've never seen one, and I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Got a changing room that pulls right out of the bimini top. I'm usually not a fan of changing rooms because on pontoon boats is usually where you see them, and it seems like just such a large dedication of space for a feature that not a lot of people really utilize or ever ask for. So I like this because it's a really, I thought it was a very elegant way to add a changing room feature into a boat without compromising any space. And if you didn't want to use that as a changing room, you could probably just take that material out of there and use that as some storage. All right. Overlooking the condition of the interior, I guess while we're on the bimini, I like this bimini. These poles were nice and solid. The feet were solid. This is a nice bimini, nicer than an aftermarket one. Here on the rear, you do have some seam separation right there, and again, that's probably from walking through and stepping on that, which is why I like that it has that seat that pushes out of the way. This whole rear sun pad is removable, so you can put a fishing chair base in right there and fish off the back. This thing has a little bit of seam separation right there. This portmost seat on the rear here is hinged and comes up. That is where your live well is. Your live well switch is right there. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, it is ran off of the trolling motor battery. You do have this little bungee tab right here to put around that retainer clip so that doesn't flip up while you're driving down the road or driving down the lake. I'm gonna turn the stereo all the way down real fast, see if you can hear the live well and bilge and blower when I kick them on. The gas struts in the engine compartment here are so pressurized, you go and hit these latches, it raises on its own. That's our trolling motor battery. I did just replace that battery. The folks that traded this in, I don't think they fished out of this ever or a lot. That was a 2017 battery, and I replaced that sucker. I did plug the charger in and make sure that it works. That is a one bank charger, only plugged into the trolling motor battery. I did plug it in and it does work. Over here on the starboard side, here's our crank battery. That's what that seat looks like when it's in the stowed position. Pull it back out that way. I think that's slick. I like that. Here's our crank battery. There's our trim pump. The crank battery is a 2024. Okay. Access easily to our fuel tank and our fuel sender. There are these retainer straps right here, which if I were to guess, that would be for the trolling motor when it was in the stowed position so you could keep it in the boat. All right. And yeah, like I said, I did test the blower and the bilge and the live well. So here's the live well. You can run that on a manual or on an auto setting. Here's our blower. Here's our bilge. Yeah, so we're good to go on all that. I'm gonna go ahead and fire this up. Leave the camera right here on it. I will shift this into forward. So like I said, our tack is kind of stuck right there on 2300. I may just need to get back there and clean up those connections. That's TBD on what's going on there. The trim and oil pressure gauges are responsive. The temperature gauge is responsive. The speed I can't test up here in the parking lot till I drop the boat in the water. And the compass, well, the compass is facing the right way. I'm guessing it moves. Yeah, it's moving. Horn works. And the stereo works. Let's shut this. I'm gonna let the engine keep running for the rest of this video and watch that temp gauge as it climbs. The stereo is a 2-speaker stereo. Man, I got horrible radio service out here in this state park I'm in. Ah, well, you get the idea. Both the radios or both the stereo speakers are making noise. I'll shut that sucker off, close it. Over here on the port side in the passenger's console area, we got our 2 cup holders, some kind of quick tray area, 12-volt charger, and some storage there. This is insulated around the bottom side of it, and it does latch shut, which is nice. We do have a ski locker in the floor here. There are clips in the side of it. Those are going to be for probably the lights, the navigation and anchor lights. There is storage underneath this port and starboard bow compartments. This is draining, fiberglass in on the bottom, and these, you take these cushions off, you can turn this whole area into just a big walking surface for fishing. There is a, you can lock these. Oh, I spoke too soon. They looked like locking ones from the bottom. Those are not locking. But this centermost piece, that's where you'd put a seat base for a fishing chair. Let's look underneath our starboard side one here. Draining, fiberglassed in, latches shut. All right. A little bit of a mark here on the starboard side backrest for the bow seat. The rest of this bow cushion upholstery looks good. All that looks good. All the glass up here looks good. Windshield looks good. Windshield gaskets look good. The actual bimini canvas itself looks good. The driver's seat upholstery has shown a little bit of signs of wear, but it's not going to fall apart anytime soon. Passenger side has a little bit more, but again, that will go years in that condition. By far the worst blemish on this boat, on the interior, is that seam separation right there. But yeah, this is going to be a good, if you don't want to fish on it at all, don't. You don't have to. Sell that trolling motor, sell that trolling motor battery, and just use this as a runabout boat for you and your family. If you want something that you can do a little fish and skiing on, this is exactly what this boat is meant for. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna snag a still photo of this with the cover on. And yeah, if you think this would be a good fit for you, give me a shout. Thanks.